Guys, Scott Woodward with you. Just a quick chat about tonight's Monday night football. Interesting game between the Panthers and the Dragons being played at Centrebet Stadium in Penrith. And the Dragons, like under normal circumstances, this looks like an easy win for the Dragons. There could be some complications that I'll talk about in a few seconds that could change that outcome. But just looking at the two teams and how they normally match up, the Dragons normally have it over the Panthers. The last 10 times these two teams have met, St George have won 8 of those games. And I do like backing a very good team after they've just put in a season low and the rebound factor. And we've got that with St George. They were very disappointing last start, most unlike St George. And I'll be very surprised if they don't bounce back. They've had a lot of time off to get right. They won't have any fitness problems in this game, with the one possible exception of their tactical kicker, Jamie Soward. I'll talk about him in a second. But just looking at the ratings, to 100%, I rated Penrith $5 and the Dragons $1.25. You can get a lot better than that, the Dragons now. They've got out with LuxBet in Australia to $1.33. On Betfair, they're currently $1.35. That's on Friday morning. And Pinnacle are also $1.33, the best price in Australia. So, look, I think if all goes well and there's no surprises, I think $1.33 is very good value. Not that I like to take those type of odds, but I do think it is over the odds. Just having a quick look at the personnel here, it's impossible to do a final ratings until we know the exact run-on side. You certainly wouldn't want to be taking the short odds, the Dragons, and then all of a sudden see Michael Jennings come running onto the Penrith Panthers. And that's not beyond the realms of possibility that he won't be running out and playing. I haven't discounted that at all. And when you've got a guy like Michael Jennings on the field and Lachlan Coote on the field, plus you've got Luke Lewis leading the forwards, and they've got two outstanding big boppers up front, Sam McHenry and Tim Grant. I think Tim Grant was just a little bit unlucky not to be mentioned in State of Origin. I think he's one of the best props in the NRL, and it was only really lack of match practice why he probably wasn't considered at least on the bench. So I think he's got a terrific future. But the Panthers have certainly got the personnel. It's just that the main thing that the Dragons got over them is their 6 and 7. They've got a very solid organisation there with Jamie Soward and Ben Hornby. The concern for Jamie Soward is that my mail is that he went down at training, and we're assuming that he's okay to play. There's been no mail that he's not playing, but I certainly would want to make sure that he's okay. You don't like players going down in training. I had the same mail that Travis Burns, who's also filling in at halfback for the Panthers, also went down in training. And Harry Seeker may come in and replace him. So we just need to get the final configuration. It doesn't matter who really plays at the Panthers. They haven't got their normal tactical kicker and halfback, and Travis Burns is not a halfback and he's not an organiser. So they're going to be lacking a lot of direction, the Panthers, and that really should be where the Dragons should be too good for them. Brett Morris, I consider him the best left wing in the world, and really surprised that he was left out of the State of Origin. So he will be smarting, I would think, and ready for a big game. Just to remind Ricky Stewart that he should be in Game 2 and Game 3. So look, with Brett Morris there, who I think has been outstanding this year, I really like Kyle Stanley in the centres along with Matt Cooper. It's a terrific centre combination. The very reliable Jason Nightingale for the Dragons. We need to make sure Jamie Soward is 100% fit. We're going to assume he is at the moment. And the very reliable Ben Hornby, still one of the best halfbacks in the NRL beyond any doubt. Two guys, Dan Hunt and Michael Weyman, the two props for the Dragons, consider themselves very unlucky that they weren't mentioned in the State of Origin, and they must be very, very close. And they will want to also be reminding Ricky that they're around. So I'm expecting big games from them. Their second row partner, Trent Merrin, certainly is on the bench for the State of Origin. He normally comes off for the bench for the Dragon, and I think he'll be a good addition to the Dragons as a starter. I'm surprised why he keeps coming off the bench. He looks like a starting forward to me. Ben Creagh also selected for State of Origin. That's the back row for the Dragons. So we're talking about Dan Hunt, Michael Weyman, Trent Merrin, Ben Creagh. Outstanding forward pack. Dean Young, who hasn't played now for about 2.5 weeks with his injury. He can't train. He struggles to walk, but he'll be patched up and he'll probably be okay for this game, we would expect. I think his enthusiasm and his talking is very important to this Dragons team. Having said that, he's way, way, way beyond his best, and I would like to see a terrific player and human being like Dean Young retire. I think that would be the best for all, especially when you've got some good young talent in the wings like Jack de Belin. I certainly would like to see him as my starting lock forward. So look, the bench is quite good for the Dragons. I can't say the same for the Panthers. They're very skinny in the bench, and they've got a lot of borderline journeymen in their team that normally you wouldn't be seeing. We're talking about Cameron Serraldo, and we're talking about Clint Newton. Look, they're good. They're good club players. They're journeymen. They're borderline first graders, and you're talking about Cameron Serraldo and Clint Newton up against two state of origin forwards in this game. But the real strength that the Dragons have got here is Jamie Soward and Ben Hornby. It's an organising halves combination with good tactical kicking games, and that really should be the big edge that they'll have over the Panthers. And I expect them to win this game and bounce back and say that, yeah, we're still in this competition. We're still a chance of this competition. The Dragons, the Panthers look to me to be planning for next year or even the year beyond that. They're a long, long way from having a settled side. They've got a lot of areas that I scratch my head about and say, what are they doing here? Some of the people that they've purchased in the off-season have surprised me. I understand that they've got salary cap issues. They're certainly paying non-spine players a lot of money in their salary cap, and that puts a lot of pressure all over your park. And if you don't get the spine right, you're not going to do very well. And from the Dragons' point of view, their spine is outstanding. Brett Morris I think, is world-class. We've talked about Soward and Hornby, and of course Mitch, Rein, one of the up-and-coming young hookers in the competition. That's the spine for the Dragons. It's outstanding. I think they'll be far too good and win this game comfortably, despite the ins and outs. But we can't complete our rating until we know exactly who's going to be running onto the field. Look, just a quick reminder for the State of Origin. I think New South Wales have selected an outstanding State of Origin team, and we're just a few hours away before we know who the Queensland team is. And I strongly suggest that you register for the free webinar that we're doing next Thursday night, this Thursday night coming at 7 o'clock. You can get those details on our Facebook. You can get these details from Champion Profits. We will have it up on our website. It'll be also on our Twitter. That's Twitter Sportsbet Live. And look, the webinar we're going to cover on how you make a profit from the State of Origin. And we're going to talk about, it's designed for punters. The Badger, Tony Hargraves, will be on with me, and he'll talk about the 4 foundation principles in trading on a game like the State of Origin. We'll talk about identifying opportunities through our research and analysis. We'll talk about the probability factors and compare them with the implied odds and the market value, and then we'll assess our opportunities and define our final strategy, and we'll consider our in-play options, which may very well include some exotics. We'll talk about our final money management and our final staking plan, the all-important final staking plan, and that may include some futures on the State of Origin. I need to have a look at the final lineup for Queensland at this stage and compare them with my ratings and just see if we can find some value for you. But we've been very successful. We've tipped the winner of the last 6 State of Origins very successfully, and of course our rugby league tips are very, very good this season, as they have been for the last 8 seasons. Members would know that. So I strongly recommend it. It only goes for an hour. I'm sure you'll get something out of it. You'll get an insight into how we do the work on preparing the ratings, but importantly, you may get some information that you can profit out of. I hope you do. Look forward to your company next Thursday night. Look for the details on our Facebook. That's Facebook /Champion Profits. Talk to you soon. Good luck.